Plectro, our representative of Titanium and Tough, representing the Crystal Elite. Extra bomb for Tough on 1-1. We'll carry 2 to 1-2, which is a good thing to have. I'm gonna peek what's in the shop. And rich enough to afford any of it. Could be some pretty good stuff in there. Plectro, meanwhile, bombing space for a map. Tough will tap and then bomb, so picks up Miner's Cap instead, along with an Obsidian Shovel. With the Conjure, Plectro will find some Quartz Armor. Already putting in a bit of work there. Reducing that Black Skeleton hit to just 1 heart. Tough, meanwhile, with the Leprechaun farm, will go pretty far with this. With the Miner's Cap, too. Tough in the Conjurer now. We'll find Ring of Pain, so definitely can go pretty fast with a few more items. Plectro, meanwhile, does have mapping, so 2 good parts of a build that haven't come together yet. And Plectro checking black for a Blood Sphere. That is not too good without any kind of damage up. Meanwhile, Plectro will just pick up some Courage Shovel just right there on 2-1. Why not? So, oh, and Tufwfo will find a map as well, so 2 different means to the same endpoint. Plectro finding Move Dig on 2-1, Tough finding it in a Shrine of Space. Meanwhile, Tough finding a map in 2-2 and Plectro finding it in a Zone 1 Shrine of Space. That's pretty funny. Plectro, meanwhile, swapping off to a Glass Staff. Oh, nice Pain activation there to take out Fortissimo. So, Tough now on the Blood Harp with Pain, which is not all too bad. Plectro, meanwhile, has a Glass Staff, needs to keep that alive, can get very, very scary in Zone 4 though, so could also be considering the swap off. That is such a good staff activation there for Plectro, clearing out the way to the exit. Tough, meanwhile, taking a trap door. Will fall just a couple beats behind. Plectro dropping the Glass Staff. This can get very dangerous. The Conga line is completely covering the shard. But Plectro seems to be doing a great job of kiting the lines away from the shard and is trying to make it back. Navigating around the Klappa. Is in pretty big trouble now. No form of damage up. Can't check black for a weapon. Tough, meanwhile, checking purple chest after a flawless. And will find Earth Spell, so Tough is looking pretty nice. There's a base broadsword in in 4-1, which definitely is not what Plectro is looking for. We'll get a base broadsword out of the Shrine of Luck too, so that's extremely unfortunate. There is a stake knife though, and a Ring of Courage along with a bit of a damage up. Does not have enough to pick up the Obsidian Dagger though. We'll farm up a bit. Tuff meanwhile going for a Shopkeeper kill for some heavy plate and an empty heart container and a holster. Ooh, some bounce trap shenanigans going on with Tuff here. Nice food iframe there to heal up, and also iframe that dragon. As Plectro goes down to a harpy, needing to push, and that has to be like just at least partially the fault of those sunglasses. Really didn't have a choice. Tuff meanwhile with the titanium cat. It's looking pretty nice now. Just pretty unfortunate circumstances for Plectro. Not being able to find anything to work with as an offensive option. Okay, this is a bit scary for Tuff though. Finds a food shop, but we'll just run past it. And we'll do some earth stuff with Miner's Cap. Can get a bit weird, but handles it perfectly fine. Plectro meanwhile with the blood shop kill. This is actually a pretty good blood shop. Get the grenades and lead rapier. And conjure up a Ring of Pain as well, so that would have been very nice for Plectro to have on the first run through of the seed. But nonetheless, Tuff. Just finding that early Ring of Pain, and then there wasn't really any other options for damage ups for the rest of the seed, so the Ring of Pain being very, very, very nice. And there it is, GG. Tuff will take the first point of the set. Race from time of 7:55. Just the casual sub 8 with slow play active. I didn't change my stream title, did I? Eh. I'm bad. Oh. Anywho, looks like we are ready for our second point of this set. Oh, immediate titanium rapier for both racers. This is already such a great start. And a skeleton in a crate. Luckily both racers will manage to get out of that trickery unscathed. Here, 2 cracked wall for both racers. Looks like Plectro is going for Dragon Stomp to crack it open. It is the Transmog. Is going to go for a shovel. will we Blood Shovel? Tough will do the same, having a more efficient Green Dragon stomp on that wall. Don't know what Tough is trying to do there, just stumbling around. May realizing that they don't have enough money for another transmute. And there aren't any enemies in sight. Tough getting grabbed by a monkey, but will only take a hit from white there. Spirit? I don't know anymore. I'll just always call them spirits except for Zone 5. Then I'll call them cursed spirits. Got it. Oh, this is so good! Just finding a torch of walls for Plectro here. Just inside of the secret room. Tuff will find it as well, getting grabbed by two monkeys though. A choice for some items here as Plectro taps and bombs the boss shrine. We'll take the grenades. A fine choice, that's probably the best thing there. Either that or the bomb spell, and bomb spell isn't gonna do too much. A very good leprechaun there, kill there for Tuff. We'll just lunge into it while figuring out what items to take. And in purple for Fortissimo 1, there will be a Ring of Shielding. So Tuff might just go on here, yeah. Tuff will just go on. Plectro is... Oh, that was such a good grenade throw! Bit confused about what was gonna happen there, but that was so good. So skipping the trapdoor room, not gonna save that much time, but it's gonna be cool. I mean, there's two bosses, so you only get to skip one boss, sadly. Would have been a lot better if boss shrine hadn't been activated, but nonetheless, that doesn't stop that from being extremely stylish and cool. Apparently, after taking a trapdoor, you can redirect yourself and either throw stars or throw a grenade in the direction that you want. And that's what Plectro did there. To take out the red dragon. As Plectro down to 1 heart after taking another hit there. Has a blast home grenade, so a bit of aggressive defense there. An offensive defensive option. Tuff, meanwhile, will push down to Deep Blues 3 ahead of Plectro now. We'll just press the up button. Plectro does the same thing. And both races checking purple for just a shield scroll. Plectro, meanwhile, finding a potion as Tufwfo does. So that will be the potion drink for Plectro. Tuff will drink it as well. It is pretty even right now between these two. Both having the blast helm, both having pretty much the same build. The goo protection for Plectro though could it be pretty nice. And some bounce trap shenanigans going on here with these Blade Masters. These bounce traps are pretty dangerous on this 4-3. And Plectro pulling a couple beats ahead now. 3 bombs doesn't have the chance to Zuma with Blast Helm. But we'll use Blast Helm. Has the Blood Shovel for the early hit on the Necrodancer, but Gotta keep your health up for that. Can't just be on half a heart for doing that, because then you'll end up dead or having to do butt puzzles. Both of them pretty much very much has the possibility to make you lose the race unless your opponent is in a similar situation. But Tuff has 3 blast home grenades, so does not need to be too worried about getting the blood shovel hit out, but still, it's gonna be very fast. And Plectro! That was some tall sprites there, I'm quite sure. Going down. There was quite a few enemies there. Oh, that's a pretty rough double neg as well. I mean, let's see. Yeah, getting frozen, but also would have just taken a hit anyways. Nonetheless, very aggressive pushing to stay ahead of Tuff, sacrificing a blast home bomb as well, which is not good. Tuff, however, is on half a heart. Has a shield scroll though for a greater shield. Don't know what Tuff is trying to do here. I can open a crate, trying to find some healing, but doesn't seem like it's gonna happen. Yeah, I do believe they're trying to find food as well. Oh, a good bounce trap used there to not get hit by that electric orb. That was pretty cool. Yeah, continuing to peek around before going on to Dead Ringer, but there will be nothing for Tuff's safety. Looking for glass armor, health, anything really. You should not be one hit away from death. And it's a double rider! Cannot afford to take any hits. Has piercing though, so these riders aren't going to be all that bad. Shield skeletons aren't even going to be too bad either. And it will be a flawless for Tuff, checking for a protection charm, which will do absolutely nothing if you're on half a heart. Needs to make sure not to blood dig here. It can easily end a run if you just leave Cadence a bit, if you just ignore Cadence for a bit and just end up accidentally blood digging yourself to death, but getting the extra extended shield by waiting a couple beats before freeing the Plectrodancer to extend the shield a bit longer. And 2 hits left on the Plectrodancer. Pretty much just needs to be concerned about either the shield running out or an accidental blood dig, but is definitely being careful enough there. Will manage to secure the second point. So, pretty tough one for Plectro to lose there, but when you're racing against someone like Tuff, you just gotta go, because you know, if you take just some moments of hesitation, you can easily get overtaken. Nonetheless, GG's. Tuff taking the second point of the set as we on to the third and final point. Hopefully, Plectro can maybe find something because the first race was kind of just not finding anything to work with as a weapon. Second race, Plectro played very well, but ultimately was pressured into a death. Tuff wasn't in the best of situations either. Half a heart going into Dead Ringer. Desperately trying to find anything to alleviate the situation. Tuff will just take Glass Staff and Cursed Potion here, and we'll decide to move on. Plectro will do the same thing. We'll quaff the Cursed Potion immediately. If Plectro messes up here, it won't be a death, but it can severely happen how successful Plectro can be in the rest of the run, as Tuff finds the Titanium Cat in 1-3. We'll just drink that Cursed Potion as well. So is in the same situation except with a significantly better weapon. So Tuff just finding the weapons as well. Plectro not checking black. We'll roll with this Glass Staff because chances are black isn't going to be something that can compete with this Titanium Cat. So Plectro just planning not to get hit, which can slow you down. The freedom to make mistakes is something that is pretty important in terms of speed, since you don't just gotta worry about not taking any hits at all. Plectro doing a bit more farming. We'll find Spiked Ears and Pickaxe, so is doing significant damage now. Cursed Heart only runs, yeah. Bomb for Plectro there. This is a bit scary for Plectro, spending a bit of time to weave through the enemies, but does a good job at not getting hit. Very important that Plectro doesn't get hit now. Can do staff strats here, do aggro Core Riff, but just opts to use Blood Magic, which works as well, and is very quick. Oh, but checking black this time for a Glass Bow, that is unfortunate once again. Plectro, once again, not having nearly as strong as defensive capability as Tuff does. Because most of what it was in the first race was the Ring of Pain as well. So it's not just the weapon, but Tuff managed to find a decent weapon too. As Plectro going for the Shopkeeper kill. Using 2 Earths will go down to 2 Cursed Hearts, so is it worth it? Probably. It's probably worth it. Plectro doesn't plan to get hit anyways, but it's gonna protect you if things go very wrong. There's a bit of extra protection as well. And there is a Shopkeep familiar, so can get these two Cursed Hearts to become red, but hopefully it doesn't cost too much time. As Tuff finds a Magic Carrot, will uncurse all of their hearts now. Unfortunately, unable to get any additional ones out of it, but sure is not too unhappy about that, since Plectro is on 2 purple hearts. Finding a blood weapon could be a legitimate thing for Plectro right now, but has just been finding glass. Never mind. Managed to get a real heart now. Plectro needs to swap off to Obsidian Broadsword to, I guess, yeah, Zone 4 Glass Staff is prone to end in disaster. Does have goo protection though, but Warlocks and a bunch of things in Zone 4 can just be bad when you got Staff. Looks like Tuff leaving behind the rat, as Mostly Harmless points out. Rat can mess you up, but can also help a lot. It is piercing after all. Tuff doing a very good job at keeping these spike deers alive. And has a bit more health than Plectro to work with. However, Plectro has a Ring of Regen, but with just 2 hearts to work with. And a much worse weapon as well. Tuff is likely going to just continue to run away with this. Has the Ring of Regen as well. Has grenades, has spike deers, has a better weapon, has pretty much everything Plectro has, and a bit more. Not the defense charm, but that isn't gonna do too much when both already have heavy plates. That's a glass jaw for Plectro. Obviously not gonna pick that up. Plectro has Shot Bro as well, but like, no hearts to work it with. That's a problem with regen with low hearts, is that you can't really take too much advantage of it. Otherwise, you're gonna be just constantly gonna die anyways, which kind of nullifies the point of having regen. But Tuff continuing on. 5-1. Good at mapping here. Knows exactly where the exit is. And takes just enough damage to regenerate all back. Meanwhile, Tuff, yes, continuing to run away with it. Plectro seems to be in a bit of a corner here, spending quite a bit of time. It's not dying. 2 hearts, bad. Tuff just launches a grenade over to the dragon. We'll be able to clear out these rooms pretty quickly. Plectro is being left in the dust. This is a bit much of a deficit when you're playing against someone like Tuff, and Tuff with 2 earth spells to take out Dead Ringer. We'll move on to the Necrodancer now, as those grenades will just launch them. And 3 hits left on the Necrodancer, Plectro. Nice Earth against the Electromage. Tuff though. 2 hits left. Plectro is a bit too far behind here. And a nice dodge there of that ice for Tuff. Will be able to land the final hit with a race from time of 840. Tuff taking this 3-0 over Plectro. GG's.